The World Cup is now in full swing, and despite all of our fears about corruption, hooliganism, heavy-handed policing, and f***ing VAR, it's been fantastic. But I'm a wrestling fan, I hear you cry. Why darken my door with this bloody kickball nonsense? Well, internet friends, because the similarities between the two are a source of great amusement. When Sergio Ramos deliberately poleaxed babyface hero Mo Salah and took him out of both the Champions League final and pretty much the World Cup, that was some of the best heel work I've seen all year. It goes way beyond that though, so we've embraced it to consider the squared circle equivalents of all of the eclectic bunch currently in Russia. What makes Brock Lesnar Portugal, you may ask? Well, it ain't just the colour of his face. My name is Adam Cleary, and with What Culture Football to plug, this is WWE Superstars and their World Cup equivalents. We start with Romanov Reigns. Both are widely unpopular, both have benefited from despotic regimes, and both are currently under scrutiny for succeeding in the face of, let's just say, some doping issues. But when you get down to it, neither are quite as bad as people say. Utterly hapless, roundly maligned, both were never really good enough for this level, if we're being honest. An early exit was always the most likely outcome. Just as the plucky, popular underdog finally made it to the biggest stage after years of being overlooked, it's all completely ruined by a freak injury. Plus, as a vegetarian, Daniel Bryan just knows how important Salah is. A long time ago, Uruguay were the bee's knees, but in the years since, they've just bored everyone to tears with suffocating, relentless stodginess. Plus, if nothing else, Suarez and Triple H have the same monstrous beak. Everything about Brock Lesnar, even down to the puce colour of his oft-flushed face, screams Portugal. Overly reliant on one tactic? Check. Thuggish? Check. Doesn't always turn up to the big occasions? Check. Has attained much undeserved glory in recent times in spite of all this? Massive off check. Effortlessly stylish and tactically unparalleled, there are reasons why people consider both Spain and AJ Styles to be amongst the greatest entertainers in the entire world. But are they both just starting to creak under the pressures of advancing age? Maybe. A team wearing a bloody shade of crimson who are way better than people credit them for, despite still not actually being any good. That's gotta be Kane. Utterly chaotic off the field and extremely uncomfortable to watch on it. Iran here! France and Dean Ambrose can be the absolute best on their day, but those days are now rarer than les dents de coq. A massive hint of chaos usually surrounds the pair, yet they somehow both remain in contention for all the top titles. Kevin Owens is a physically imposing specimen, but one that still maintains an air of sophistication. Both he and Denmark were unlikely success stories back when a more favoured candidate was forced to pull out, but we can't hold our breath for repeats on that anytime soon. Very huge and very difficult to watch, but nonetheless incredibly likeable. Get the beers in, Titus, mate, you're bloody Australia. A romantic comeback years after we last saw them, with at least one drug scandal in between. Too easy, that one. Overflowing with talent, and on their day, one of the best things in the game to watch, yet just somehow missing that little ingredient that'll always stop them getting to the very summit. When needed, they can both be complete arseholes and look really good in checks. Like Argentina, Finn Balor is dripping with style and full of invented offense designed to impress you, yet injuries and inconsistency will probably stop him lifting major honours. A few years back, the idea of both The Miz and Iceland rubbing shoulders with the industry's very best seemed absolutely ludicrous, but they both succeeded thanks to hard work, determination, and general affability. Plus, mums love them. You just know there's talent there, but more often than not, what you actually get is a disjointed, chaotic mess and oh so many false dawns. Bray Okocha. Serbia was simply awful to watch a few years ago, and while they are admittedly a bit silkier now, they haven't done that at the expense of their rugged stiffness. Though they are gradually earning a begrudging respect, it is still quite difficult to actually like them. Sackloads of both talent and titles, but maybe in need of another reinvention after years of slowly fading away. Whatever happens, fun to watch. Getting on in years, a bit past their prime, not expected to achieve anything, but still with a touch of class. Plus, they both really like gold. Costa Rica gained widespread popularity 4 years ago in Brazil, despite having limited prospects and even more limited credentials. Now, in 2018, that fondness does remain, but the novelty's definitely worn off. Plus, just like Ty Dillinger, their once perfect number 10, Brian Ruiz, never quite fulfilled his potential. A bunch of methodical bruisers who've somehow become even more gruesome now that their eccentric leader has abandoned them. Sweden, say hala to the Bludgeon Brothers. After all, all, you can't spell ABBA without BB. Not only is Mexico's flag quite similar to that of Rusev's native Bulgaria, but they both have this ravenous support who are constantly frustrated by their inability to break into the big time. But 2018 could be the year. 4 years ago, Germany were the absolute best in the world, but now, well, yes, obviously still brilliant, but possibly slightly in decline. Nevertheless, the expectation still lingers on them both, and the parallels between Der Mannschaft and the Mannschafter are blatant. Always around, even if nobody can work out how or why, flatters to deceive at every possible opportunity, but given their due, does look good in pink. A team with oodles of talent that has spent the last 20 years being constantly let down by incompetent managers? It is not unfair to say that until very recently, Elias was a simply unbearable presence that had everybody who watched them reaching for the remote. Now though, and quite beyond all comprehension, he's managed to win so many people over that even his most firm detractors still wouldn't mind seeing him succeed. If that's not England, I don't know what is. Despite a pristine haircut and some whiter than white apparel, neither are afraid to get a little dirty in search of a result. Ellsworth and Panama totally and utterly out of their depth, but delighted to be there all the same. Just don't get suckered into watching them. Seth Rollins' trajectory is oddly similar, but just like the Eagles, will be getting his wings clipped before winning the big one. Elegant, but still with an ominous air of violence, really should achieve greater things, but for reasons alien to both you and I, never quite manages it. Maybe 2018 will be the year for both Cesaro and Colombia, but then again, maybe not. Chad Gable is an honorary lion of Teranga, and not just for his fetching mane. Young, talented, and hungry for success, but management will likely never manage to get the best out of him. Plus, he just seems like a nice guy who would tidy up after himself. Both still at the top level, though it's difficult to understand why, seeing as they're both entirely reliant upon former glories. The only difference between the two is that Randy Orton doesn't dress like a samurai. You really should, though. So there you have it. That is every single team at the 2018 FIFA World Cup in Russia and who their WWE equivalents are. Enjoy that, did you? Your cup of tea? What Culture Football, mate? We're having all kinds of fun over there, and Miller's even taking part. Who you like. I tell you what, I'll even give you 2 videos right now so you can get a flavour of what we're doing over on that channel. Give them a watch, there's a good boy. But thank you very much for watching. Get your comments below who you would have picked. What have I missed out? I'm dying to hear it all, honestly. And until next time, my name's been Adam Cleary, and I'll see you soon.